Hey everyone. So today I was able to take my rifle to the range. The rifle that I set to 100 yards in my kitchen to see how I did. That did not actually work out. Some of you might have saw that coming, me being new. Interesting. So, maybe that's a viable technique that I did on the kitchen table. Maybe I did it a little wrong. Maybe there was something I erred on, but so I get to the range and I had a opportunity to use like a Caldwell sled. So like I had a nice mount to put the rifle on. It was available there at the range because I was there during the day on a Tuesday. It was available, so I grabbed it. I was the only one in the range at the time. So I was like, sweet. So I grabbed that, set everything up, and set my target down to 100 yards. And I persisted to, line up my sights, pick one of the target, because I had a target that had multiple little targets on it. A page that had multiple little targets on it. So, I picked like the center target, the center little target on the page, and proceeded to fire. Aim, fire, rack the bolt, fire, rack the bolt, fire. And I wasn't really sure if I was seeing anything. Like, why am I not seeing? I mean, it's at 100 yards, but, you could still see if you're hitting something. So I did that. I probably did about a magazine worth, like 10 rounds. And brought the target back, and I got nothing on paper. That was a bit of a shock. Figured I would have got something on paper, right? Why not? Why wouldn't that have been a thing? So, I started to reevaluate the setup, making sure everything was lined up. I even took the bolt out so I could look down the bore to see if I can see the target, stuff like that. I moved it to 50, tried to shoot it, centered it a little, zeroed it at 50, decided to bring it to 25, and just start at 25, get everything zeroed on 25, and then bring it to 50, get everything zeroed on 50, then sent it out to 100 and was still missing the paper, I guess. Because I wasn't seeing anything. I was like, why am I not, I didn't even know maybe it was the absurd notion that the ammo I was shooting wasn't actually making it down there. Because I was just like, what's going on? I've learned to not blame the equipment for, because usually it's the shooter's fault, not the equipment. But I was just like, what's going on? So like I brought it back to 50, made sure it was still zeroed, moved it to 60, 75, 80. Like I was playing around with those distances, working my way to 100 yards. And sure enough, I started seeing it on paper again. So I must have really messed up the scope settings when I was doing that thing on the kitchen table. Weird. Okay. Lesson learned. So it's reasonably zeroed right now at 100 based on actual range experience, not just, sitting on my kitchen table. But it still needs to be tweaked a little. At this point, it could be just user error, why the groupings aren't as tight, stuff like that. So I'm still going to work on it and tweak it a little bit, but that was a bit of a shock. So I took a bunch of photos as I was working. Unfortunately, it wasn't as the photos themselves. It's not as systematic, meaning what targets were shot at what distance and things like that. So, but I can show you some photos, and you can see some decent grouping here and there. I got some decent grouping at 50 yards and a little bit more spaced out at 100, but which I was shocked at because prior to doing the kitchen table stuff, I was actually getting decent grouping at 100. So I must have really messed it up when I was on the kitchen table doing that shit. Live and learn, right? So one thing I'm just not sure of is if I'm going to leave that video up. Zeroing my rifle at 100 yards on my kitchen table. Am I going to leave that video up? Is it actually something you can do? I would think so. If you do it right, I would think there's a way to do that. I don't know. I mean, maybe I need like a bore laser or something like that, to really work on it. But I think the next time I take it to the range, I'm just going to send the target down to 100 and work from there and try to see how well I can get things zeroed out on my own, at in a range. So, I mean, I kind of ran out of time today because I also shot pistol earlier. That'll be a different video. But so I don't know if I'm going to take the video down or not. I have to think about it. So anyway.